to Confessions from a Pastor's Wife. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like the content of this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also catch this as a podcast on Spotify and Apple platforms. This week I want to more so talk about a recent movie that I watched. So I guess this is going to be more of a movie review and an encouragement, just because I feel like it really fits the times that we're seeing. I really do believe, and I know there's every single generation says the same thing, that we are in end times, but there is so many things lining up. It's not just one thing, and it's not just happening in one area. There are a lot of things going on globally, and you can see the setup for it. So first of all, if you're a new Christian or if you're on the fence, I encourage you, do not be afraid. These things, and I guess even if you're a seasoned Christian, you can still get very caught up in the world and get scared of it. But I don't want anyone to be afraid of it. What I want is for you to be encouraged by it, for you to know that this is one step closer to Jesus coming back. This is one step closer to us spending eternity with God, our Father. One step closer to seeing the glorious face of Jesus. Ever since I watched The Chosen, which is amazing. It's an amazing program to watch. You can get that on YouTube, and I believe you can also get that on the app called the Angel Network, I think it's called. My husband and I watch that all the time. But ever since I saw it, it really brought the story of Jesus and the disciples to life. It's The Chosen, so it's about Jesus picking his disciples. But those Bible stories that you read, they jump to life. And now when I read those stories, when I read the book of John, when I read Matthew, I can put a character to it. And I'm not saying that it's all biblically correct, but it has just brought it to life. And I'm going to tell you, I am jealous of those disciples. I wish that I was around for that, but God has selected me for this time, and I'm so honored for it. So these things that are happening in the world that are meant to cause fear and confusion and really destruction, that's the enemy. He is not hiding anymore. He is being very, very audacious. He's getting very bold, and I can just see it. And in the past, I think I would be nervous about it, but I'm not now. I'm so encouraged by it, and again, I am so honored to be chosen to be alive during this time, and I want you guys to feel the same. So for a while now, I am an avid social media user. I will admit to that. It's where I get a lot of my content from. It's where, I want to stay involved with what's going on in the world, and what opinions are out there, kind of a thing. I'm not saying that everything I find on social media is fact. It's really hard. You have to sift through a lot of sources. But I do enjoy doing research as well. So that I don't mind doing that. So it's not like I see something and then I'm like, oh, that must be true. I really search it out. And so I am very avid on social media. And I came across people talking about this movie called Nefarious. And I saw some clips. It has Sean Patrick Flannery in it. And then he's about the only big name that's in this movie. Everyone else is a smaller name, but he was a bigger actor in the 90s. And when I saw one of the clips from this movie, I was like, wow, I was blown away. So I want to preface this by saying that the directors, or the one for sure, the one writer, I'm pretty sure that he was inspired by C.S. Lewis's Screw Tape Letters. And I know I've talked about that before. It's a book that is written from the viewpoint of a demon. And he's asking for advice on how to properly take over his subject. And so they have a dialogue, but it is strictly from the point of view of the enemy, of the demon, and how they think about us, and how the enemy wants them to work, and even their hierarchy. and I haven't read the whole thing of Screw Tape Letters, but what I have read, it has just been so amazing and eye-opening. But there is another, like this movie, Nefarious, is based on that. This movie, it's a thriller, but there's nothing in it that is gory. So if you're worried about that, there's no nudity. I don't think there's any profanity. This is a very tastefully done movie, and it's just a lot of dialogue. And, it's really hard nowadays to capture an audience without a romantic line or like a romantic storyline or action, things blowing up. And this movie has a lot of action, but it is more intellectual. There is a little bit of gun violence, I will mention. So I would, if you want to watch it with your teenagers, I would maybe read the reviews first. I don't think that it would be a problem, but everyone is different with what they want their children to be exposed to. So I recommend you looking at that first. But if for yourself, if you are an adult, I definitely recommend it. This movie, it's from the viewpoint of, I'll give a little bit of away because if you've been on social media, you'll see it. It's a criminal who is facing a death penalty, but they need to make sure that he can stand trial, that he is not insane, because if they declare you insane, you don't get the death penalty. You get life in prison with, I think, an opportunity for parole. I'm not really up on the American trial system, but I do know that that's what the basis of this is. A psychiatrist is going in to see if he's actually insane or if he's faking it. So this person that goes in is an atheist, and the man that he's interviewing is possessed by a demon called Nefarious. And the things that he touches on is so relevant to today. Really shocked me. Well, I guess not shocked because I knew about it, but just how it's presented was just like, whoa. They touch on 3 major topics. And what really jumped out at me and what really made me so emotional, and I was brought to tears, is how vulnerable the man is who's being possessed. How, he has no control over his own body. He's answering for things that he doesn't have the details about because it was the demon who did it. The demon is making decisions for him. And when it's him, because he's not always around him, he's not always making him do things, he's not always in control. He lets Edward, which is his name, come out. He doesn't just keep him down. He lets him come out and experience. So the demon does something and then Edward has to experience it. And to watch him process some of the decisions that the demon has made is just, it is horrific. It is, my heart just broke for him. And, this could be what it is. This could be how possession is. And it just makes me hurt for the people who are not in control of their own selves, who are at the will of a demon. And it's really interesting because the demon goes through and talks about, how they possess, and it's not just instant and all this stuff. And the atheist is really really egging him on, well, if you're a demon, do this, and he just kind of sits there. But it's just really, really well done. And I think the most accurate depiction of what it is like for the person being possessed. Like, once again, I'm just so heartbroken for him. And I couldn't stop thinking about him. And to know that, there are people like that in the world who are being used and then just being tossed to the side. And he says it in the movie, Nefarious, the demon, he does not like us. And he has a great explanation as to why and how he refers to God. It is so well done. So I just can't say enough great things about it. You need to go watch this movie. This is so in line with the times. And if you even want to watch, there's a few how it's made, like behind the scenes on YouTube, and a few interviews that the director writer does. They went through a lot of things. A lot of people, cast members, producers, people that were working on set, they went through some really horrific things during the making of this. One man almost lost his life in a car accident. Another one, he was putting his child in his car seat in a parking lot, and, the child kicked the back of the chair and something came loose. So he stepped into the minivan to fix whatever it was. And within seconds, someone came and took his door off. If he was standing there, that man would have been dead. And there was lightning attacks on the building, the lights wouldn't work at certain points, the sound system wouldn't work. The enemy did not want this movie out, and it was even blocked. I have been waiting for months and months and months, and some people were watching it in the States, and I was like, how come I can't watch it? They would say, go to this link. I'd click on the link and it would just be a black screen. So the enemy did not want this out. Well, it's out. You can get this. I watched it on Apple TV. So if you don't have it, it's worth it. I bought it. It is so worth it to get this, to watch this movie. And the fact that the enemy doesn't want you to watch it, that speaks volumes. It's right up there with The Sound of Freedom, which I have yet to watch. But I mean, it's this movie is going to move you in a similar fashion if you've already seen The Sound of Freedom. So, I want to encourage everyone who's on the fence, or if you're stumbling upon this podcast and you're not a believer, but you're interested, there's something deep within you, there is an awakening happening, and you are going to have to make a decision whether you want to proceed with your, inner feeling of, I need something, there's something missing. What is this God about? Even the curiosity, just that little bit of curiosity is enough to just go and research it, go read the Bible, go talk to a Christian friend that you trust. And really, you're gonna have to make your decision soon. I think that Jesus is coming back really soon. I think the Antichrist is going to be made known to us. All of these things are going to happen, and there won't be a time to sit on the fence. You will have to make a decision in that moment. Yes or no. Do you believe? So I'm really hoping that, this encourages you. Anyone who wants to watch that movie, Nefarious, again, it is on Apple TV if you are in Canada. I'm not sure. In the States, I think that you can stream it on YouTube. I haven't checked YouTube lately for this movie. I was just searching for it on Netflix and all my regular streaming platforms. So when I saw it on Apple TV, I was just elated. I found it at 9:30 at night, and I'm looking at my husband. We usually go to bed around 10. I'm like, no, we're watching this movie. So it was worth the wait. And I'm just really encouraging you guys to watch that movie. So again, we are coming to the time where Jesus is coming back soon. So take encouragement, guys. What a time to be alive. What a time for you, for God to put you in this time. Everyone has a purpose. There is a reason for everything. So, and I think that it's really going to come to pass this fall and even into next year if we even get that far. So again, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Don't let the wars and rumors of wars and all these things going on with the government where it looks like God is not in control. Trust me, he is in control. These things need to happen for Jesus to come back. And then it is going to be the most glorious event that we have ever witnessed. So I hope this is encouraging to you. If you want to reach out to me, my information is below through email, on my platforms as well for social media. And thank you for joining me. I will be here again next week, Thursdays at 7 o'clock from Confessions from a Pastor's Wife.